everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I will be doing the end of the year book tag just to wrap up the year, get the next year started. I've been watching a lot of these videos and I just felt inspired. So let's just hop right in. The first question is, are there any books that you started this year that you need to finish? And no, I very rarely put a book down and have the intention of picking it up again later. Normally, if I'm reading a book and I end up putting it aside, I'm DNFing it. I'm not coming back to it. There were two books this year that I did put down for like a few months and then later came back to and was able to finish. The first one was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I really did not enjoy that book. I got about halfway through it and couldn't take it anymore. I probably went 2 months at least without touching it and then was like, okay, you've gotten your space. Let's see if you can just power through and finish, because normally when I DNF books, they're like truly terrible. And that book I was just really not enjoying. I can't remember what all my issues with it were, but I went back and finished that one. And the other book that I did that with was either The Fiery Cross or A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Diana Gabaldon. Or maybe I did it with both, actually. So I loved Outlander and I love the TV show. But I think every book after the first one just kind of progressively gets worse. So at this point when I'm at, Breath of Snow and Ashes is the 5th book, I could barely stomach it. I think her attention to detail is just nauseating, pretty much. The books at this point have very little plot. There will be like a couple chapters at the end that have plot, pretty much just enough to make me be like, well, I guess I have to read the next one now to see what happens. But I'm really not enjoying the series anymore. I have all of the books up to, what's the last one? Written in My Own Heart's Blood. That's the last one that she has out. So I guess I'm going to keep reading the series and see how I feel about it, because at this point, I mean, those books are massive. I'm so invested in this series, I can't walk away from it. But anyway, off the subject. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And my answer is no again. Last year, I think I really focused on like seasonal reading, like, oh, this is a good book for the summertime, this is a good book for the fall, this is like a wintry book. And this year I didn't really do that. I think it was mostly because I have like amassed too many books that I'm trying to read. I like to read all the books that I buy, but I had gotten like ahead of myself and I've bought so many books that it's been really hard for me to keep up with reading all of them. And then I also I go out and buy more books because I'm unstoppable. So this year I didn't really do like seasonal books, so I don't really have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year. It's just me trying to get a better grasp on my enormous TBR. The next question is there a new release you're still waiting for? Yes, there are two. Well, what I'm not really waiting on anymore, I ordered The Toll by Neal Shusterman, the conclusion of the Arc of the Scythe. Is that what the trilogy is called? The first book was Scythe, and the next book was Thunderhead, and the last one is The Toll. So that one is in the mail. It will be here in a day or two. So I'm really excited about that because I absolutely loved the first two books. I thought they were super strong, good YA sci-fi. So I'm really excited for the third book, for the conclusion to this trilogy that, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited for that to come out or come to my house. And the next one is Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, right? That's how you say it. The first book in that, I guess that one's going to be a trilogy too, right? The first one is Children of Blood and Bone. In any case, that book I believe comes out December 3rd, so I'm really excited for that release because I absolutely loved that first book. I thought it was so unique and so different, and I love that it's like a full cast of people of color, so I'm excited for that sequel. The next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So, as I kind of touched on in my last video, I'm working on A Court of Thorn and Roses and the Throne of Glass series. Right now, I'm reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm a little bit into that. They're just so massive towards the end. But then after that, I want to read, what's the next one? A Court of Wings and Ruin is the next one in that series. And then I also want to read Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash, so I can finish the Throne of Glass series. So yeah, those are 3 books that I really want to finish. There are other books that I am hoping to get to this year as well, but those are the ones that I really want to finish those series for the year. Those books are really big. I just want to put it to bed and be like, yep, read those series. The Throne of Glass ones I absolutely love so much. The ACOTAR books, I'm not enjoying those as much, but I still want to finish the series. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I'm gonna say probably not, just because, like I was saying, the books that I'm trying to finish for the year for sure are the Sarah J. Maas books. I don't know how many other books other than those I'm gonna be able to read, just because those books at the end of those series are so big. And the Throne of Glass books, I like all of them, but they're not, I've read a lot of books this year, I think, that are really heavy hitters, cover really big topics, make me cry, introduce me to different characters and perspectives. And I don't think Sarah J. Maas books really do that. They're enjoyable to read, but I know they're not peak literature. So I'd be really surprised if one of those books was my favorite of the year, because I've read a lot of other ones that in my mind are yearly favorites of the year, that were just a little bit more intellectual than her books are. No offense to Sarah J. Maas, but that's just, it is what it is. And the last question, have you already started making reading plans for 2020? And the answer to that is not exactly. Like I was saying, I have a bunch of books that I'm trying to read, that I've bought, and I just have not been able to keep up with reading as I'm buying. So really my plan for going into 2020 is just to read as many of those books as possible and try to slow down on buying new ones so that I'm able to finish the books that I'm buying. The biggest kind of goals that I have for 2020, I had taken some speed reading test online that says if I read an hour a day, I could read 100 books a year, and I forget what the size on those books are. I'm a little nervous about making 100 books in a year my goal, because I know if I fall short, I'm going to be really disappointed. So I think next year my goal is going to be 80 books, because with as much as I do read, I think that's definitely doable. And if I go over it, then I can be okay, I can set the goal higher for next year. And really my plan is, I've got a lot of really thick books sitting in my TBR, Roots, for example, which is a brick. And I'm thinking I'm going to start off the year trying to read all my really thick books, big books that I have waiting to be read. So that way, as I'm going through the year, I'll have smaller, more manageable books, because I don't want to be stuck in the summer, fall, as later on, where I'm potentially struggling to reach my goal, and I've got big books that I want to read because they've been sitting on my shelf for months and months, and I want to read them, but I don't also know I'm not going to want that to be something that hurts my reading goal. So that's pretty much my plans for 2020 right now. I know they're super vague, but yeah, I kind of stopped doing, my last video was my wrap-up video, and I had considered doing a TBR, but I kind of realized I don't really do the monthly TBR thing anymore. Last year, I would kind of do 7 or 8 books every month, and I'd be okay, this month I'm going to get to these books. But I'm not really, I don't know, I just kind of got out of that habit. I just read what I read. So, alright, thanks so much for watching. So that's all I've got for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm excited to see what the next year brings for me and for everyone in our reading goals. Bye guys, thanks!